Hey, your headphones. Why do you have your headphone out?
So I can hear you through the other ear. Because I guess if you talk now.
Because I can hear you through my headphones. You can't hear me through your headphones?
Oh, I guess I can hear you through my headphones, actually.
I was like, what are you doing?
Okay. Fair.
Technology, bro.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the District Gooner Pod. I'm KP, joined by my good friend and co-host, Steven.
Howdy.
This is episode 2.
Big things.
Big things. Let's kick off the conversation with what we saw on the pitch right away. I know that Arsenal started their Premier League season campaign with a 2-1 win over Nottingham Forest at the Emirates Stadium on Saturday, first home game. So, Steven, you want to just walk us through the starting lineup and talk about sort of how the game started?
Yeah. So starting lineup, I think, was actually what you predicted last week almost. I think you almost got it spot on, man. Differences that we saw, Eddie up top at the 9. I think everybody kind of was thinking Trossard was going to play there. We had seen Kai Havertz, but Eddie got the nod. Left 8 was actually, oh man, I'm tripping.
Havertz was at left.
It was Havertz, yeah, Havertz, and right at the 6, Odegaard completing the midfield, and then the back 5, the same as we thought it would be. Ramsdale, Timber. It was not the same as we thought it was going to be because Big Gabby was out, so that there was news that he was possibly hurt. Came out to be that it was a tactical reason. Ooh, guess we'll get into that.
Something's going on there.
What was that?
I said something's going on there.
Yeah, I don't know. But White at right center back, Partey at right back. So it's kind of interesting when you saw that lineup come out. What was your feel when you saw that come out?
The lineup. So I was surprised that we had the 3 in the back, and I didn't see Big Gabby on the starting line. That was a total surprise. Everyone else was kind of expected, but again, going back of that, I think Thomas Partey seeing him at the 5 was also a surprise. Eddie, it's not that surprising, to be honest with you. It seems like we had him last season when Jesus was out, and we know he can score, especially maybe like against a caliber team like this.
Yes.
But I don't know. I know that the manager is trying to be super unpredictable about like the lineup. He mentioned that a couple of times, and it was interesting to see it. But we can kind of get into that a little bit more about sort of how he managed the game itself. So I know that the game actually started with a delay, which was kind of rare for the Premier League. We had a 30-minute delay, and not just our game. Actually, there was a couple of other delays this season. So kind of a shaky start for the operations team, but we'll see how they recover from that. But shortly after the game started, I felt like Arsenal were on top from the beginning. How did you feel?
Oh yeah, absolutely dominating. 0 chances. So I wrote something down. So we said 20 minutes in, dominating, but 0 chances. So Forest was sitting deep. The only chance of the game, so 20 in, was that header that went through our back line, right?
Yeah.
So ended up one-on-one with Ramsdale. Obviously put it high and wide, so it wasn't really much of a chance. When you look at the replay back, I mean, he got it all wrong. It could have been a good chance if he had some composure, brought it down. I think he probably could have swept right past Ramsdale, but because he tried to take that first time, didn't become a chance. But first 20, man, we're all over him. Well, like white on rice.
No, we were.
Rice.
I think even beyond the first 20,
overall,
it seemed like we were in control. And, that was the game plan we were going to expect. It felt like they were sitting back. They were okay giving us the possession. And the 3 in the back actually were much higher than I've seen them. Sort of when Big Gabby is in the back line, they're not as up high, especially in the beginning of the game. But we were very much free flowing. And you can see Saliba is he's just a different level when it comes to him on the ball.
He's a luxury. So like you're saying, so you got the three. So Partey's a right back, but he's playing in the midfield. So we're not even going to consider him in the back line. If they sustained any pressure, I'm sure he could drop back into the right back position. But we're all over him, right? So it's all about the press after we lose the ball. We're winning it in their half just repeatedly. When you're watching, there's one man back, and he's sitting at the top of the circle, and that's Saliba. So you got Timber pushing forward. You got White playing forward. White's making runs like he's the right back. He's overlapping Saka at times. It's like, this is crazy. So going back to the lineup, that's not what I predicted. I thought he was going to be much more conservative, but he's putting the pedal to the metal. We're going for it. Like he's absolutely going for it. No one Forest is going to sit back, putting it down, right? So Havertz, Eddie having his true strike. I think that's why he chose Eddie. He wants a true striker there to stretch it, help stretch the field. You put in someone like Trossard, maybe dropping back in. No, they're sitting so deep. He wants to stretch the field as much as possible. All that firepower, but Saliba, bro, dirty. He's nasty.
Yeah, but
controlling it all by himself.
Yeah, 100%. And so speaking of Eddie, he got on the score sheet in the first half pretty early on. He got a good chance and he put it away in the 26th minute. But you have to kind of credit the goal to Gabriel Martinelli and the little bit of magic that he produced on the sideline there.
Woof, that was gross. So I had just written 20 minutes in, there are no chances, and I'm watching, and Gabby gets the ball out left, and it's like, man, that's the first time they've said his name. Like, I'm not seeing him involved much. That's the first time. And they hit him with a Razzle Dazzle. Hit him with a Razzle Dazzle and goal. It's crazy. That's the type of player he is in flashes, right? Absolutely brilliant. That was sweet.
Yeah, no, it really was. And then, Arsenal kind of stayed on top after that. Forest they could not get out. And that was one thing that was pretty evident with Thomas Partey. I think sometimes when Rice is making that run that Xhaka used to make, Partey is really tucking in. And so, like, the two of them were doing a really good job right after we had scored the next 5 minutes to just win the ball back in their half. And so we just kept going again and again and again. And then finally, we got the second goal after just 6 minutes.
Yes. Yeah. Off another corner. Who wins the ball in the right channel? So the ball gets cleared. Who wins the ball in the right channel? Saliba. Oh, my goodness. So winning the ball back just repeatedly. We're winning the ball in the attacking third. We were on fire. So wins the ball, plays it out. Saka. I mean, what can you say but a bada bing, bada boom? It's in the back of the net, bro. It was gross.
It was. And the thing is, it was such a nice strike that it took away from the hard work that Saliba did. Because if you watch it, you watch it, and it's like very impressive the way that he identifies. Okay, the ball falls. Brandon Johnson gets it. He's running down the side. He notices, oh, that's the striker against me. He just straight up runs at him. The guy tries to do him up. He says, like, where are you going? Just takes that, gives it.
Yeah.
And then the rest is just Saka, man, doing Saka. I think, it's very encouraging to see him, being confident to kind of take that shot. But also, that's one of the things where we've talked about. It's great that these players are starting to hit their potential. Like, that's exactly what you want from Martinelli. That's exactly what you want from Saka. And they've started up very, very strong.
That's a good point. Yeah, taking those. He has that in his locker. We've seen just glimpses of it, but first game of the season, boom.
Yeah, so I think overall after that, it was still just mostly all Arsenal. I didn't really feel that the goal was threatened that much by Nottingham Forest. Is there anything you want to touch on in the first half before we move on to the next?
Yeah, so let me get your opinion on Havertz for the first half. What did you think?
I think Havertz is being just watched so closely by everyone, and he is doing things that might just be going a little bit unnoticed. I felt like he was winning the ball back in the high, like in their third. He's very good at that, and He comes in from the left side. He wins the ball back a lot. If he doesn't win the ball back, he fouls. I think he's got the little bit of bite to him. He's got the good understanding of where to be, when to be, and what needs to be done. He's not afraid to get stuck in and just put his foot in there as a striker. So it's just, I'm very happy with him so far. He hasn't really done anything wrong. I felt like it was another solid performance. But I'd love to also hear your thoughts.
Yeah. So, and I think when you're talking right there, and you said you finished with as a striker. So I think that's what we think of him, right? So he's not having these offensive flashes. I think something maybe we didn't know, but obviously somebody knows. His defensive work rate is crazy. Like, so who played there last season, Xhaka, and that's who I'm comparing him. I'm not thinking of him as this offensive weapon. I'm trying to think of him as like this 8. Yeah, he's winning the ball. He's absolutely mobile. He's got some fire in him, like you're saying. These balls are coming back. They're obviously going to start. We lose the ball. They're going to try to come at us as quick as possible and counter. Kai Havertz was there winning balls for us. So you got Havertz, you got Partey, and you got Rice. Those are 3 big boys you got to get through. Right?
Long legs, dude. That's 6 long legs to get there. Exactly, that's a lot of distance being covered. Yeah, those passing lanes are tight, dude.
Yeah. So, and you said this last week. So Martinelli on the left, and he's got this new trio over there. So that's why I'm not seeing Martinelli, and then he makes this moment of brilliance. But Havertz is new. So offensively, maybe it's a slow cook, right? It's a slow burn. He's getting into it. But defensively is a place where you can show up individually because it's your effort. And he's showing that he can do that, right? Offensively, he's getting into the team. I think he looks good. I'm looking at him as an 8, not as a. It'll come. I think it'll come.
Yeah, dude. And a lot of the times, actually, they were becoming 2 strikers. Sometimes he would kind of just push up and be like this. I don't know. His positioning was very good. I also thought he's very smart with his positioning and the runs that he makes. He was starting to combine a little bit more with Martinelli on the side. He got in, I think, for the second goal, or in the second half in the first half when we were really, really putting them under pressure. He was making those runs. No, I was very pleased with him. Anything else you want to touch on the first half?
No.
Okay.
Brilliant first half. Brilliant.
Totally. And then so looking at the second half, it was more of the same. It felt like Arsenal were pretty much in control, dominating possession. And but in the 50th minute, Arsenal were forced to make a sub. And Jurriën Timber pulled up, and Tommy came on for him. And we are recording today, and this is a couple of days after the game, actually. And the news has come that Timber seems like it's a relatively serious injury, and he's going to be out for a few months. It's Arsenal. It's as Arsenal as it gets. I had super high hopes for this player. I know you did as well. So maybe we can just talk a little bit about this and how you think, how Tommy did coming in for him, but then also, what luck. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. So Tommy also coming in, we were all over him. I mean, it didn't change the game at all, but the way we played the first half, so you see what they're trying to do, right? You see the tactic of it. You have Timber and White on either side of Saliba. It's looking prime, right? We're looking great. Now, moving forward, when we play another team like Forest, I don't know if we have another option for Timber because he's so strong defensively. So like a Zinchenko, I don't know if he could play it as well, right? But because Timber can play center back, he's just defensively so strong that leaving those 3 back there, leaving those 2 back there, just mostly Timber and Saliba back. It's like that's solid. That's a solid pairing. We're safe. Tommy did fine. Tommy did good. No issues with him, but I feel like Timber's just another level, and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. I think the plans going forward, it hurts.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, I was a little bit nervous in the preseason when I watched him a couple of times, a couple of the games before this, when he played on the left side, I noticed he tackles a lot with his right foot. and so he plays on the left, and so he's always coming across to make those tackles. There were one or two where I thought, oh man, like that doesn't look good if a player goes through it. So I mean maybe we can, yeah, I don't know we'll see what people think about that, but he was so comfortable, and there were just, yeah, this one hurts a little bit.
We were getting on. He was absolutely getting on with us, so it's a tough first game of the season. Doesn't get much worse than that.
You got to feel for him. But hey, we're looking forward to having him back. I don't think. Well, I don't want to get into that. Maybe we can get into that in the second half of the program to talk about like transfers and if we would go into the market or anything.
Yeah.
But I do want to just talk about Declan Rice a little bit and his debut performance, and because in the second half he was taking a lot of shots. I felt like, and he did hit the post. Good save from Matty to kind of push it to the post, it looked like. But yeah, what did you think about Declan's performance?
Good. We'll just go on the offensively. Defensively, I think he gave us what you expect from him. So not even going to touch on that. You don't even need to. But offensively, yeah, I think he had 3 shots. Had that one that was saved, deflection and saved wide. He also took a nice pop. It's probably 25 yards out. Nice contact. He obviously can hit a ball.
The volley. I thought he was going to, if he made a good connection.
The volley was the third shot. That's right. Yeah. So he's going to be scoring a few goals for us. But he looked good. I actually think this is probably the best he's looked, I think, from watching the preseason.
Yes.
Like the most comfortable. I think this was his best game.
His best game, and you can also tell there's still like so many more gears to go. That's pretty exciting. And I was very encouraged to see him taking the shots and being a little bit more offensive. So that's also great. But then, in the second half, there was Leo Trossard was the only other sub that Arsenal made in the 74th minute before Nottingham Forest were able to pull one back. And they scored on a counter in the 82nd minute. In a transition moment. You called it out in the last episode that we're looking a little exposed on these transitions, and Ilanga, a substitute that they had made, just kind of burnt the team. And you could tell the players were tired. Like Saka was kind of close to him, but he just couldn't make up the ground. Yeah. So I do want to hear your thoughts on the goal.
Yeah. So off a corner, right? It's off a corner. I mean, I guess it is what it is, right? You don't get the first tackle in, allow the guy to turn along. I mean, it was just pace for pace. Saka, I'd say, probably could get him, but he's gassed. He's tired. Rice is the next kind of guy next to him. You could tell he couldn't make up the ground either. I mean, once Alonga gets down, it's a solid ball across. It's really the striker. What's his name? Awanyi. It's really his run, right? The way he gets in front of him.
He made a great run, dude. Ben did not see it.
Yeah. Alonga, great. You came on as a sub. You outpaced the 2 guys. Like, that's good for you. But it's the run, right? He cuts in front of Ben White. As you're watching the second half, I think, so before the second goal, the history of Arsenal. So 2-0 lead. How did you feel? So I'm getting a little tight. Watching it, 60th minute comes by. We're not pushing as much for a third. Controlling the game, we're definitely not playing them, but we're not pushing for a third. So the game's just kind of going along. 65th minute, 70th minute, things are getting tighter. Like, in my opinion, they're still in the game. Like, Forest is still, they're not putting much on us, but they're still in the game. So. And I know now, because the game's over, we can go back and say these things. But we know that Mikel likes to sub late. So, what was it? Trossard came on in the 74th. Do you think there should have been a change in the team? So, change in the 74th, we see Saka and Rice unable to keep up fitness-wise and track him down. Is there a point when the system that we're running needs to change, right? So, we're running a back 3, kind of. Does it need to change to a back 4?
The system, especially because it was the first time that we've tried it, and not like the first time, because I know he tried it a little bit having Partey as an outside back at some point last season. But so let's just, the defensive sub that he did make was after the goal in the 86th minute. 4 minutes after that is when he brings Big Gabby on to kind of just shut up shop for we're going to get this 2-1. But, after Forest scored, they also had an immediate chance, it looked like, right off kickoff. And as an Arsenal fan, that was when I got really nervous. Like, oh man, this is not looking great.
We've seen this before, right? It's like watching a movie you've seen before. At 2-0, I'm like, 60, 65th, 70th, I'm like, it's happened. Like I just have a tightness of like, it's happening. I can see this happening. It's not comfortable. And then they score. But this has been something we talk. I would like to see it come earlier. I think we can see it happening. Why isn't it not being discussed? Why is the system not changing? We're not pushing for a third. Why do we need to still be playing this back three where Ben White's overlapping Saka? I don't think that we need to make the change.
I agree with you, especially since we were forced to make an injury sub. So that immediately kind of changes things. However you had planned for your subs to go, that changes things a little bit. We're not going the same way. And also, he was forced to make a sub in the 50th minute, and the first sub that he makes by his own choice was in the 74th minute. So, that was the first time he was going to make a sub, and Forrest had already made, I think, 2 other subs. So, for me, the game management it's a little bit questionable still, and that's the part that in-game substitution management is the part where if the manager doesn't get it right soon, we're not going to win the big trophies. Because you saw it last season, that's when we broke down some of the substitutions against Liverpool, some of the substitutions against Southampton, some of just like the system, the formation, the lineups. So these are some of, and I mean, I don't know. I think he got it wrong a little bit, but I also do wonder, to your point, what are the assistants telling him on the side? Especially if we're making more attacking substitutions, but the attacks, we're not attacking more. So I don't know. It just didn't feel right.
It just worries me that we see this so often. That's just what is annoying as a fan when it's 2-0. It's let's just shut up shop then. If that's what it is, that's what it is. Got Jorginho on the bench. He's a great option to shut up shop. We have Big Gabby on the bench. There's nothing wrong that can come from that, pride or anything. Just do it. Let's just get the win. Opening day, 2-0. Next game, 3 points. We still got the 3 points. It's just thinking about going forward. It would be nice, like you're saying. Notes to the manager.
Dude, totally. And honestly, it also comes down to who played the day before us. These guys who just won a treble. And what did they do? 3-0, professional job. They were just Burnley wasn't even there. So that is also another worrying sign, a little bit, where it's hey, why couldn't we? That game could have been 4-0. That game should have been 4-0.
Oh yeah.
And we had the momentum in the first half, didn't put it away. We had some chances in the second half, didn't put it away. But that should have been a 4-0, job done. Yes, there is going to be a legitimate challenge. So I still think it's going to be okay. But it was disappointing to have that late goal. And I'm sure, as we've seen in the documentary, Razzle was probably so furious when they got in the locker room. So especially with Raya coming in, that guy must have been very upset that he didn't get to have a season opener clean sheet.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, you wanna wrap up the game recap and move on to the next segment, or is there anything else you want to chat about?
From the game, I think we're good. I think that finishing what we just talked about was a summary of the second half, how I felt. So I think we're good.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's take things off the pitch. And where is Raya? That's going to be my first question.
Coming to the Arsenal.
Yeah, but has he been announced?
No, he has not been announced. Saw something else that he was at the game. I believe he was at the game.
Okay.
Just not announced yet. I'm not really sure. I honestly haven't seen that much news about it.
Okay. All right. Well, I think he's probably in the medical phase then, as we're recording this, and maybe he'll be announced soon. But so he's coming in. So he's not calculated in this total, but so as of now, the total sum for arrivals is about a little more than 230 million euros that Arsenal have spent, and we've only had about a little more than 30 million euros come in from departures. So, I guess my first question is, in addition to Raya, do you think with some of these rumors, how are we going to raise some funds based on trying to just get at least one more player if we can, or getting ready for January? Like, it just feels like there's certain players that I don't want to be involved going into January. Like, I don't want to be worried about offloading them in January in a way, I guess. I just want to get some of these departures out of the way now.
I think so who do we have? Tierney. I think he's the biggest one right now that's actually getting some interest. So we have Tierney. Lakonga. I would love to see him get a loan.
I forgot about him.
Yeah. I'd love to see him get a loan. So we have those two. I guess I'm blanking on the other ones then. Who else are you looking at to leave?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Pepe to leave, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah, I think that's pretty much done, right? I think.
Yeah, but I don't know how much money we're going to raise from that.
Oh, I don't think we're getting a fee, man.
Oh, okay.
I think I think he's got a year left on his contract. I think they're letting him, they're basically letting him go for free, letting him go to Turkey.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't have a lot else to talk about off the pitch. Is there anything that you wanted to chat about? I know that it looks like I did see that Tottenham are trying to maybe go for Balogun. I don't know. Doubt that would ever happen, right?
That's actually really funny. That's cute. Let's talk about Tierney real quick.
Yeah.
So, big fans of him back in the day. Obviously, it's been a rough past 2 years for him. Injury prone kind of guy, but I would say Arsenal through and through. We like his style. Just got Timber injured. Zinchenko's out. So who's our left back cover? We got Tommy and we have Kiwior. Okay. And then right back, maybe Partey on a certain day when it's a certain opponent like Forest.
Yeah.
Or Ben White will be there when we're playing serious opponents. If Timber's out for 9 months, if it's really an ACL, hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's the news sounds like it's ACL. It'll be out almost the entire season. Does it make sense to keep Tierney?
I don't think so. I don't think we keep Tierney because there just seems to be the manager is just. I don't know. They had a little falling out, or maybe it's just that he literally can't do what he wants him to do from the left back position. Like it's not how he likes to play. It's not his. It's not where he feels he can produce his best quality. So there's just no reason to keep sort of like a happy but unhappy player to just like be around, and then he'll get scapegoated, as he did when Man City scored, right? What did everyone say? Oh, Tierney, right? Like he could have done a little bit better. So it's just so unfair to the player that I feel like cut ties there and just get it done.
So I'm kind of playing devil's because I'd like to see him leave. I think he deserves it. I think he deserves to go somewhere and play. He's too good. He's too good to sit on the bench, not even be in the team, right? Like he might not even be on our bench. He's better than that. Yeah. But who's one name that we forgot? So we did, Balogun, you mentioned briefly. Rob Holding is our potentially fourth center back, right?
Yeah.
So if we're having to play Kiwior at left back, so our only right back cover is really Tomiyasu at this point, unless you're counting Partey, which again I don't know. I don't know if that's the case, but we got Rob Holding potentially as a center back. If you're needing another defensive player, I'd rather have Kiwior play a center back and keep Tierney as a left back option. So then you have two there. If you're not counting Zinchenko and you're not counting Timber, I'd like to think we can count on Zinchenko this year. Still hurt. It's the same calf injury he had at the end of last season, which is kind of interesting. Had all summer. Still kind of didn't see him in the preseason. Hasn't played yet. No real sign of when he's coming back either.
Yeah.
It's kind of a concern. So I think that's just something to think about. Rob Holding, Tierney. If you get a good enough offer for Tierney, I think you got to let him go. You just do. Because Rob Holding, if we sell him, it's not going to be a big amount. But on the fringe of like having enough depth, I think in the back line as competitions start.
Yeah, I think no, that's fair, and hopefully, I don't know. Defensively, it's really hard right now to figure out what they're trying to do. Maybe they're fine with just 3 because it seems like they just want to play 3. So maybe even 2.
That could be the case.
They're trying to play 1, to be honest with you. With the way that the guy's approaching it, I think he's approaching it as like the 1 is enough. Saliba is enough.
Against those opponents, yeah, that's exactly what we saw, which is why Timber hurts so much because he just gives you a little bit more cover, defensively. He's just better at it. He's just great. So that hurts.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know that you also wanted to maybe chat about some season predictions. You wanna take us there?
Ooh, let's do it. So I guess an interesting one coming off of transfers would be Raya or Ramsdale. So who do you think? Do you think Raya's coming in to take his spot? Do you think he's coming in as just to give him competition? End of the season, who do you think our starting keeper is?
Yeah, I think it's still Ramsdale. My question is, when is the first time we see him? So if I'm making a season prediction, okay, will there be a game where this manager changes goalkeeper at half?
I couldn't see him doing that personally. He don't like to make stuff until late. I don't think he would.
Okay, but I thought Ramsdale had a good performance in this last game. So like for me, there's no reason to start Raya as he comes in for the next Premier League game. I don't see him playing for another month. I see him playing in Europe. I see him playing in a cup game first. I don't see him playing in the Premier League for us immediately. There has to be something big that happens. I feel, but we'll see.
Okay. My prediction is that Raya has a job by the end of the season.
Okay.
I think. Why do you go through I don't understand why you would go through this process if you're not looking to supersede Ramsdale. I just don't. I think there's too much in this. Maybe I'm reading into it, but why are you letting me read into it? Why are you doing this to Ramsdale? Like, I just think they're picking up because they think he's better. Honestly, I think they think Raya's a better keeper, and eventually they're going to put him in. Whether they just let him play Europe, has some good performances, Ramsdale slips, has a couple games where he's letting in goals. I think it's easy at that point to just be like, all right, well, we're going to put in Raya. That's the harsh thing about being a keeper.
I do think even in this last game, there was a moment where he holds on to it a little bit too long, just like a little bit too long. And I do feel if there's one where he is at fault, the next game he will not start. But it has to be a mistake that he makes with his feet, or making like a bad, rash, like quick decision in the sort of very pumped up, hyped up Ramsdale way.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right,
which
dude.
you've seen, right? Those mistakes were in his locker last year.
Yeah.
Southampton cost us that game. I mean, we drew it, but getting that goal scored on us so early. I think they're going for Raya for that reason. That's just what I think, prediction-wise.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. But hey, whoever's playing, as long as we're winning and there's a trophy at the end of the season, I don't really care, to be honest with you, man. But best wishes to the boys as they're going to battle it out.
Going to the other end of the field, who do you think is going to be our top goal scorer this year?
The Arsenal top scorer. Dude, it's getting so hard because I want it to be Gabriel Jesus, but this dude can't play a full season. So, like maybe 10 is his max. Like, if he can put up a 10 and 10 because we only get, like, 6 months of the year or, like, 4 months of the year from him, okay. For Arsenal, Martinelli.
Nelli, I think that's a good choice.
Yeah. It has to be one of the wingers. And so I lean toward Martinelli. I know that he had a tough game against City a little bit. That's just Kyle Walker effect. But he was back on his game against Forest. So and Nelly's got a little bit more of a bite to him when it comes to finishing. So but
he's a goal scorer, man. He's direct.
Yeah. So who do you think will be the top goal scorer?
I'm between Saka and Jesus. If Jesus can stay on the field, so he missed 3 months last year. I think he still ended up with double digits. I'll go with Jesus. Saka, because if he's our pen taker, I could see him racking up a few more. But I'm gonna go with Jesus because I want him to be. I'd like to see it. If I went with my gut, I'd say Saka, but I'm going with my heart here, and I'm saying Jesus will be the top scorer.
So actually, one of my predictions is going to be that Saka gets dropped from being the penalty taker this year.
Okay, I could see that happening. Who do you think would take his place?
I think Odegaard can take them, or
I agree.
I think Declan Rice might be, like, why not? The guy can ping it, like, for so far and so accurately. So maybe, but hey, I don't know. Odegaard is
I think Odegaard. He's our captain. With the pens that I've seen him take, man, calm and cool. Obviously can hit a ball. That's who my choice would be.
I mean, subbing Bobby Vieira, bro. Just give the man, give your bat on the top bins.
All right. Who do you have as our player of the season?
It's Saliba. If that guy doesn't play, like, whatever value you put on everyone else, it doesn't matter. That dude's not playing, we're not lifting any trophies, man. Like, he's just different, man. The passing is different. The defending is different. The strength, the speed, the calmness, different, dude. So without him, doesn't matter who's playing six. Doesn't matter who's playing outside. Hopefully he'll be the season. But that's if he stays healthy. I think he will be the player of the season. Who's your choice?
Okay. I'm going Odegaard.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been looking silky smooth. I think he might be going up a level. Last season he was crazy. What he put up? 15 and 10. Is that what he put up last season? I think he had 25 contributions.
Yeah, he was on it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I could see him going up another level with possibly playing next to Havertz. Yeah, I think he's going up another level this year. Our captain, and if he takes the pens, he can kind of boost those numbers a little bit. So that's my player this season.
Yeah. Hey, do you think the top goal scorer in the league will be an Arsenal player?
No, there's only one top scorer in the league.
Who's that?
And he plays for Manchester City. Okay, that freak over there, that big man. Did you forget about him?
For a little bit, yeah, just because I was super excited about, like, my sleeper pick of it being Isak. But yeah, I think you're right. But I was so impressed with Isak over the weekend, and those guys scare me. But we can talk about that later.
I agree with that. All right, let's go through two more here. One to watch this season. And by one to watch, I mean kind of who do you think's a breakout player? So Saka wouldn't be one to watch because we know what he is, right? Who do you think in the squad is going to show you something this year and really raise his level?
I want to watch, especially with the new injury to Timber. I want to see Tommy succeed. I want to see Tommy play a full
Love
season.
that.
I want him to succeed. And so he's going to be the one that I watch to see, okay, like, how is this guy doing? Especially now that he's going to get, I think, a lot more chances to play. And, yeah, can he get through it? Yeah, who's yours?
I'd like to go Havertz, but I feel like that's cheating because he's a new transfer, but I really think he's one to watch this season. I think he's, as we talked about earlier, he's going to give us something that we didn't know he had. But my true answer is coming off the bench, Reece Nelson.
Ooh.
I think Reece is going to have a good season, man. I was impressed with him last year when he came in for us, and if he can stay fit, he's got the Arsenal. He is Arsenal through and through, man. Because he's always getting hurt, but he comes in for us, man. He's
Arsenal through and through.
Yo, he's always. It seems like every time he checks, like, where's Reece at?
No, he's not on the roster. And then he shows up and he like gets an assist or has a banker.
Yeah. The contributions last year, and it might have been inflated, of course, but I think he's a player. I think so. I think he can challenge to at least come off the bench this year.
Yeah, I mean, this year for Arsenal, there might be a lot of good sort of sleepers because Smith Rowe, I want to see him. He's one to watch. It'd be interesting. The guy had 10 goals this season that he could stay healthy and get on the pitch as a sub. So, Fabi, I want to see Fabi. Yeah, no, there's a lot. Also, I think I'm pretty interested in watching more of the defender we signed from Poland. Forgetting his name now. Kiwior. Yeah. I would like to see him, see how he really is, and he might be one that surprises us. Where if he might play in the sixth, or he might do something weird with that guy, so it could be fun.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of games we're gonna have this year, just with Champions League, so it's kind of exciting to see who's gonna step up. So, just mentioned Champions League. What do you think? I guess what is your expectation? So what do you think we have to do at a minimum? And then what do you kind of hope to see? How far do you think we'll make it?
Yeah, for the Champions League, maybe we can hold on that until we see the group, really. I would like to see us make it out of the group. That's my first expectation.
I'm with the expectation. Arsenal. Make it out of the group.
Just make it out of the group to start us out and get us back into competition. And then from there, some of it is so about luck and the draw and just how things bounce. And we'll see. Champions League, I don't feel that, especially now that the squad's a little bit thinner than we expected it to be to go into September and October and November. I don't expect us to win the Champions League. I feel much more comfortable saying that maybe a domestic double is in the cards this year, whereas the other side, I don't know.
Okay. If I had to choose, I would say quarterfinals. Second in England, I think is impressive, right? It's the best league in the world, bro. I think we're better than we know we are. Obviously never looked good in Europa, and under Mikel haven't looked good in Europa, but the caveat of that is always kind of who the hell are we throwing out in these Europa games, right?
Yeah.
We went out last season. It's kind of throwing out a squad and hoping for the best. I think we take this very seriously, and I think we are a very good team. Even in the preseason, playing some of these teams, right? Say like Barcelona. We just look good. We look like we're playing. So I think quarters. I would be satisfied with a quarterfinal. First season that all these dudes are actually in the competition too, which is great to see. That's my pick. We at least get through one round of knockouts. At least one.
When it comes to the Champions League, I think the most important thing for me right now at this moment in time is get back into the Champions League. Get back into the Champions League. Get them this year. Go again, and then we'll see. All right. I do want to also talk about. I want to talk about the celebration police. And this year, obviously, they've also deployed the Touchline Patrol. And I came across this interesting graphic on Reddit, and I thought we could just chat about it. It was posted by Fallen Tree 17. I wonder if he made a noise, but he posted a little thing saying he posted a little something saying like how long did each team celebrate a goal last season. It looks like he pulled this from The Athletic. So they put a chart together just for our listening audience. If you're on YouTube, you're seeing it. So the average time between goals scored and opponent kickoff in the Premier League. And Arsenal ranked fourth here with, it looks like, 81 seconds. And Crystal Palace are first, Leicester are second, Fulham. I'm a little surprised by this list and the flow of it, but I want to kind of hear your thoughts as well. And at the bottom, the teams that celebrate the least were the least amount of time spent celebrating were Newcastle at the very bottom, Manchester City, and Tottenham. And they were all under 68 seconds. So did you have any reactions to this celebration time? And I know there's just a big talk right now in the league about sort of time wasting, and they're adding way more extra time to the end of the games. So, but it's not that bad, actually. Like, at least the goal celebrations, to me, it feels like. What's your vibe?
No, so it's 20 seconds basically from the top to the bottom of the list, so it's not that much time. There's some ones that kind of stand out to me. The bottom of the list, Newcastle. How have they done that? Some of the biggest time wasters last season, right? Ball in play statistic. You scoring a goal? Why you guys? Why are they the ones starting the quickest? I thought that's an interesting thing. Man City, I get that they're at the bottom. They just routing people with as many hat tricks as Haaland got. Arsenal at 4, that makes sense. Because when we score, what do? Kind of do the celebration, and then we do the huddle, right? The team usually gets together, talks a little tactic, talks a little keep the level, and then we go out and play. So I think us at 4, that makes sense. I'm not salty about that.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure if I'm reading the chart correctly. Now that you talked through it a little bit, and I've been looking at it a little bit, and I'm just wondering because the average time between goals scored. Oh, okay. So the team that I was looking at it correctly. But so to be fair, I think in the very first half of the season, Newcastle weren't scoring a lot of goals. Then they have like a lot of 1-0s or a lot of like 0-0s. It was the back end of the season when into January, after they signed Isak, is when they really scored to put up like some 4-0s and like 5-1s, and they just trashed Tottenham, But like just stuff like that, it wasn't happening. So I don't know how much, but then City score a lot of goals, so maybe they do it right. I don't know.
If you're scoring a little amount of goals, I think you'd be celebrating them big, because who's behind us in the list? Chelsea, who didn't score a damn thing last year. They were taking their moments to celebrate when they did score. So.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we move. Let's look ahead to the next game. Arsenal will play against Crystal Palace away. And it will be the last game of the weekend on Monday. So we'll have a chance to watch everyone else play. Want to start with the lineup here. Who do you want to see fielded based on what we saw, what we learned, and our unfortunate luck with injury?
Yeah, unfortunate luck with injury. I wouldn't be surprised if it's pretty much the exact same. I think I could see Partey right back again. Just playing Palace. Zaha's not there, so is that correct? Am I wrong on that? Zaha's gone.
Is he gone?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's gone, man. I'm pulling him up. I'm pretty sure he went. I think he's in Turkey now. So Zaha gone.
But Eze and Olise are pretty good.
Yeah, he's gone. Schlupp, that man IU still playing. Another always an IU. Death taxes and an IU fuck. And an IU playing. So Partey at right back, left back. That's going to be the question.
Well, why don't we start with the goalkeeper? If Raya gets announced tomorrow,
Ramsdale's playing.
Okay,
that's without a doubt. So I'd go Ramsdale. I'd go Partey, White, Saliba, Kiwior as my left back. And Rice, Havertz, Odegaard, let's run it back. And then front three, obviously Saka, Nelli. And I'll stick with Eddie. I think he's going to play Big Gabby next game. I think Big Gabby and Saliba start next week. I don't think he can sit him twice in a row.
So you're saying
that's what I'd like to see.
Wait, but then you said Partey at right back, but then Big Gabby plays? You lost me with the line.
No. So that's what I would like to see is almost the exact same as we played this game. So Partey, White, Saliba, Kiwior. I think let's just swap out that piece, Timber for Kiwior, and see how it goes. But I'm saying I don't think we're going to see that. That's what I would like to see, though.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any shot he sits Big Gabby again. He's played 73 games straight. He started 73 games straight for us. I just don't think he'd sit him again. But
yeah, but the streak is broken now. So there's a new streak where he's going to be on the bench twice.
See how ruthless that man is.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
What you got?
I'll go with the 4. It's Ramsdale, it's White, it's Saliba, it's Gabriel, it's Kiwior. I agree with you. And then it's Rice, Havertz, Odegaard, Martinelli, Eddie, and Saka. Same players up top. But then, it's kind of hard. I wanted to put Tommy in. Instead of Kiwior, but I did see Kiwior play a lot at left back, so I think I'll go with that.
Yeah, I just think he showed something in preseason. I think Tommy is a player that can come off the bench. He's so versatile. I think he comes in, he can mark a man, he just be solid defensively. Kiwior seems like he's just a different type of player. But I think he's more of a player. Like you said earlier, he could potentially play at the 6. He's just more that kind of a player. So. He
was playing the tucked-in role a lot better in preseason than Tommy has even done in the past. And then Tommy, I like how you put it. If there's one defender I want to have to bring off the bench from this squad right now, it's Tommy, because whoever goes down, he can slot in. But
solid.
I would not feel comfortable putting Kiwior on the other side or even center back. We saw that against Liverpool, so I don't know. So what do you predict for the scoreline?
Is it at Palace?
It's at Palace. Yeah, it's an away game.
Mm-hmm.
Monday night game. Prime time, away against Palace. Yeah. Classic game. We've had that one before, man.
I'm going to go 2-1 to the Arsenal. I think it'll be tight. After I predicted the lineup, I'm just not familiar with Palace. Zaha's gone, but they got some, that front three, just like those dog type players, Schlupp, Ayew, And then they got those big dudes that play up front, whether it's Edward or is it Miata, that big dude.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I could see that now. I'm thinking about Crystal Palace going with the Saliba, Big Gabby partnership. It just makes more sense to be more solid in the back. After this week's showing, I was confident as hell going into the opener, bro. I'm going back to my roots. 2-1 to the Arsenal.
2-1. I think it's 1-0. I think it's either I see it as a 1-0 or a 3-0. I think we will get a shutout this game, hopefully, just because it was so sloppy, that goal, that I bet people were upset about that goal, man. So hopefully they're going to come out for a shutout, and 1-0 feels safe. I want 3-0 because it's Monday night and I want to have that enjoyment, but I'm leaning towards 1-0. Cool. Well, is there? Let's do the one sort of non-Arsenal game that you're looking forward to this weekend that you might make the time to try to watch.
Yeah, so going through the fixture list, there's two decent ones this week, both on Saturday. Because we gave a little shout out to Newcastle, I'm going Newcastle City. I I know we both Newcastle is just a tough team to play. Um, I could see him doing something. It is a home game for City, but Newcastle just showed out this week. They absolutely showed out. So I think that's the game to watch. City had quite a few sells this summer. Of course, we think of them as the best. They just won the treble. But maybe there's a weakness in there. Who knows, right? Who knows? So an early test for them. Um, so I think that Newcastle game, that's my choice.
Okay, got it. I agree totally. I think that's the one game to watch, and I'm really excited about it. And they've got some big guys in the back who can also put a body on a big guy. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And seems like they're not going to have Kevin De Bruyne. So I think Newcastle are going to win, and that's the game that I'm really excited about. So
Yeah.
we'll see, man. We'll see. All right. Anything else you want to touch on?
No, I am good.
No? Did you have fun? All right, man. Cool. Well, with that, thanks so much for tuning in. If you're not already following or subscribed, please do it. I'm not sure what you're waiting for. This is only episode 2, but you can probably already feel the vibe. So just go ahead and click that button. And hey, while you're in the mood, maybe you can rate the show and maybe leave a review. And we will see you next time. Oh, also maybe share it on social. It's the best way for others to find out about this show. So thank you, man. I'm pretty excited for next game.
Absolutely. We'll chat next week.